Hi, this is Kelly Elvin with Golf Life Navigators. Thanks for joining us for another segment of Voices of the Game, where we spend a few minutes with some of the outstanding media who've covered our game down through the years. None better than Tim Rosaforte, broadcaster, analyst, insider at Golf Channel. Tim, welcome. Thanks for spending a few minutes.
Thanks, Kelly. It's an honor.
Tim, as we speak, we are at the 2018 Honda Classic in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, Saturday. Tiger Woods on the golf course, a lot of excitement. But this tournament has evolved over the years into one of the great events beyond just a single day, one of the really terrific events on the PGA Tour. And you've had a hand in the different activities this week that speak to the charitable side of the game and to Barbara and Jack Nicklaus.
Well, thanks, Kelly. You know, I go back to actually 1980 covering this event. It was one of the first I ever covered in my career for the St. Petersburg Times. And I wasn't there for Nicklaus when he beat Greer Jones with 5 straight birdies down at Inverary, but it wasn't long after that I saw Johnny Miller win and end one of his slumps. And, so I followed this tournament through newspapers and then my magazine work and now TV and through all of that and living here in Jupiter and West Palm and getting to know the Nicklaus family better and having some ups and downs with Jack over the course of time. You know, I was honored to be asked to host his charity dinner the other night at the Bears Club for the Jake, which is named after a 17-month-old grandson that passed away, unfortunately and sadly, and now is used as sort of the impetus to fundraise for the Nicklaus Children's Healthcare Foundation. And to see Jack and how much that night and how much healthcare means to him now is pretty incredible. You know, he's always been a guy that was well studied in whether it was architecture or golf or whatever it was. He I don't want to say became an expert, but he knew a lot about the subject. And,
right.
And now the motivation is, now we heard he's kind of quote unquote retired. Not really. I mean, he's in the fundraising business now for this foundation, and he's got plenty of other stuff with so many grandchildren. So when he got up at the podium, Kelly, and he talked about healthcare and how the advancements that are going on right now and how, you know, he wants to make a difference in it. The speech was so impassioned, and when he sat back down at the table, his eyes were red. And did the same thing 2 nights later here at PGA National, where he and Jay Monahan, the commissioner, were part of a panel that I was getting a chance to MC, and I knew where he wanted to go. Instead of some of the business questions we had on the original slate, I kind of directed it and got him back to the same part. And if part of your conversation series is about giving back, you can't find anybody better than Jack and Barbara, and Barbara's really the one that's the boss in that operation. And seeing her work going back to the days in Ohio to the hospital up in the Dublin area, Children's Hospital, you can just see it's been a consistent thing for her long before, sadly, Jake passed away. But right. Now, you know, in his memory, this is really gathering some momentum and really doing some phenomenal things. Well, Tim, not only here in South Florida, but around the world.
Correct. And the legacy that the two of them are leaving here around the world, Ohio, wherever the touch point is rather remarkable. The Nicklaus Charities here in Palm Beach County, all the way down to Miami, quite remarkable what they've done.
$3 million that they raised the other night in that event. Honda historically puts in $1 million on top of that throughout once everybody does all the bookkeeping on the event, and it'll continue to grow thanks to them. Kelly, as a golf writer, broadcaster yourself, we have the Bartlett Award with the Golf Writers Association. They won that some time ago, but they also won the Bob Jones Award, both of them individually, and I don't think. I know that's the only husband-wife team that's won the Bob Jones Award, so let's put it that way. And it just speaks to, how much this cause is meant to them, and how much people at these voting bodies respect and recognize them. If there's a place for Barbara Nicklaus in maybe not in the Golf Hall of Fame, but in the Spirit of Life Hall of Fame, Barbara would be there as one of the first inductees.
No question about it. Tim, it's late February here, and we're just about 10 days removed from a horrific event, unfortunately, at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which is about 45 minutes south of Palm Beach Gardens. And wonder if you could speak for a minute of your involvement in an activity today that speaks to what golf can do, extending beyond just the playing of the game.
Well, Stoneman Douglas is down in Parkland, Florida, which is near where the TPC Eagle Trace is, and former host of this tournament, and also TPC Heron Bay, another former host of this tournament. And so people who are here, go back to that and have followed the history of this tournament to the days of Inverary to where we are now in these gold dust years of PGA National. Remember that area and know it and somewhat how relate to it. And so today, and I wrote a column about two of the players from their golf teams. The young girl who's 18 years old and captain of the girls' team, Amanda Okulanis, is going to be here today with us. We're going to interview her for Golf Channel. And the boys' team, a 16-year-old sophomore, Evan Cooperman. And he's got quite a Twitter account that you should follow. I think it speaks to what some of the messaging that's coming out of that school is about, since this horrific tragedy, and you don't want to politicize it, but a lot of it's about gun control and making a difference. And that you don't want to see those 17 lives sacrificed for anything, but at the same time, maybe this is the time where we're going to see some changes evolve as a byproduct of the voice that the children at this school have, and that Amanda and Evan have in conversations I've had with them. And then you referenced the ribbons and the wristbands. Those are a byproduct of Nicholas Thompson. Lexi's brother lives real close by. Graduated. He and his wife graduated from Stoneman Douglas. So it's sort of our latest cause in golf and in sports as well. And I'm moved by it, and obviously horrifically saddened by it, because you never know when your time's going to come, and those children certainly had that time come way too soon in their lives.
Well, Tim, I think a lot of us have been moved by it. You and I are both parents, and to have to go through the ordeal of what these people have had to go through, I cannot imagine. On the other hand, it has been rather extraordinary of what these young people have been able to put together in such a short time, to be able to make a unified statement and be so strong and passionate about their beliefs, that it does certainly give you confidence that our next generation, at least through this group, is in pretty good hands.
Well, and the other theme to this is, in this case, with these two youngsters, I call them youngsters, they're teenagers, is how golf either helped them deal with this or helped them be part of a group within the group that experienced this.
Yeah.
At Eagle Trace, where Amanda works at both at Eagle Trace and at Heron Bay part-time jobs. She's a Bright Scholars recipient. Mm-hmm. She's going to go to Central Florida, maybe walk on a golf team, but nice. She wants to be a CEO or wants to work for a sports organization someday. And Evan is younger. He's not really thinking about career yet. He's still thinking about golf, but or using golf to kind of channel through this, but he can't. He tried. He goes to the range, but he tried to enter a junior tournament last week, and he just couldn't hang in there. And,
I can imagine. And
I passed over the tragedy that Amanda experienced, because she works at Eagle Trace, where the superintendent's 14-year-old daughter, Damien Loughran, a third-generation Irish immigrant whose father was a golf course superintendent at one time, had a son survive and a daughter not make it out. So she's very close to it, in the sense that her workplace has been obviously shattered by their superintendent's loss. And so golf is part of this community within our community of life here in not only South Florida, but the United States and the world. So as a journalist, I tried to use this as a vehicle to tell a story. And sadly, they're here to try to continue and give this story legs and see where they are right now, 10 days later after this nightmare.
Tim Rosaforte, you brought great passion to your writing, to your broadcasting. You're a Hall of Fame member of the South Florida PGA section, award-winning writer, and certainly the go-to person at Golf Channel as we get ready for the start of the major season in 2018. Tim, thanks so much for joining us.
Kelly, thank you. I'm just a kid off the back of my dad's garbage truck. Never thought I'd be doing golf and covering it this long for a living. I was a college football player and a newspaper writer for 17 years, but I'm so blessed to have found this pathway and to call it not only my job, but my life.
It's a pretty way to spend your life, isn't it?
It's an unbelievable way.
Thank you,
You
Tim.
know, I got this, sorry.
Sure, no.
I got a little 10-year-old nephew, and he's kind of my golfing partner now, you know, so that's kind of my way of giving back. His mom's a single mom, and I try to do the best I can in sort of the spirit of the game. And so we share a lot of great moments together, and, you know, again, another one of those golfing experiences that I'm so grateful for.
Tim Rosaforte, thanks for the spirit you bring to the game. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kelly.